His name's Bingham. Your father. He's from America. And I met him on holiday, Benidorm. He's a medical student. One morning I come down and he wasn't there no more. But he was a nice man.
I test eyes. Optician.
Oh, yeah? Well, there's a turn-up.
What do you do?
I work in a factory.
Do you like it?
Pays the rent.
But darling, I'm your Auntie Mame. Oh, quiet, quiet, everybody. I have an important announcement to make. This is my little boy. Whitcomb got him an apple black. Oh, yes, long distance. How are you? Mr. Whitcomb, I have your San Francisco call for you. Yes, Mr. Bibman? Oh. Did I connect you with Mr. Gutterman instead of Mr. Applewhite? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bibicum. Bib. Oh, Mr. Applewhite, what are you doing in that hole with Mr. Gutterman? Should she know that I think you've turned into one of the most beastly, bourgeois, babbity little snobs on the eastern seaboard? Or will you be able to make that quite clear without any help from me?
It's a profound thought. How Paul found us. How to find the man whose son he claims to be, or perhaps is, although I doubt it. How everyone is a new door, opening into other worlds. 6 degrees of separation between us and everyone else on this planet. We keep what happens to us? How do we fit it into life without turning it into an anecdote? With no teeth and a punchline you'll mouth over and over years to come. Oh, that reminds me of the time that imposter came into our lives. Oh, tell the one about that boy. And we become these human jukeboxes, spilling out these anecdotes, but it was an experience. How do we keep the experience?
Yes. As though I were in a snake pit.
A snake pit?
I remembered once reading in a book that long ago they used to put insane people into pits full of snakes. I think they figured that something which might drive a normal person insane might shock an insane person back into sanity. Well, it was just as though they'd thrown me into a snake pit. And I was shocked into thinking that Maybe I wasn't as sick as the others. That I really might get well.
Did you sleep well last night, Mrs. Cunningham? How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Who is he? And why all those questions? As if he were testing me.
Do you hear voices?
You think I'm deaf? Of course, I hear yours. It's hard to keep on being civil when they ask you such naive questions. But who's that? And what's happened to him?
I was beaten up by a guy who thought I was trying to pick him up in a bar. For all I know, maybe I was. Somebody once told me you never get anything in this life unless you ask for it.
You mean this was a request? What have you got ordered for tomorrow?
I'm sorry, Polly. I'm not ready for you yet. I need time by myself. Time to stand on my own 2 feet instead of having you worrying to death about me.
Later this evening, I'm going to be tap dancing on the goddamn Brooklyn Bridge. Don't you hear what I'm saying? I am about 20 feet away from a double vodka martini. And I don't want to hear that I have just spent 12 weeks and every cent I've got to hold myself together until later this evening.
Is your friend okay?
No, she's not. But Al Monroe is. You'll be glad to hear he's doing really well. He's getting married, actually. So, I guess you did the right thing. We have to give these boys the benefit of the doubt. That's why I know you won't mind that 3 hours ago, I picked your daughter Amber up from school and introduced her to the boys who live in that room now.
What?
She is really pretty, huh? She looks a lot older than she is. Suddenly, she was something else. She was yours. It wasn't her name she heard when she was walking around. It was yours. Your name. All around her. All over her, all the time. And it just squeezed her out.